Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So herbal remedies have been around for literally centuries. And I have to tell you, that is the natural way to feel better or take care of things in your life instead of using these chemicals on your body or placing them in your body. So I bought her essential oils, and they're fantastic. I mean, this is Palo Santo aromatherapy spray, all 100% organic. Then I come to find out that she also has different creams and more, and we're going to talk to her about that and more. Tammie Lowell is here from Oyate Herbals once again. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing good, Steve. Glad to be back.
So we skimmed it last time about these other products you have. One of them is a sunscreen. You know, here we are getting very close to summer. It's that time. I went away for a weekend a couple of weeks ago, and I just grabbed a commercially available sunscreen.
Right.
It was in a little bottle, and I had a carry-on, so it just made it convenient. It's under 3.4 ounces.
Right.
It did the job, but I have to tell you, irritation from it. It was just some random. It was actually a generic brand at the pharmacy, and
Right.
I won't be doing that again. You have sunscreen, and it's all natural, literally.
I do, and I make it myself. So it is actually, I call it. It's a Lakota name. It's called Kiyosihui, which means blocking of the sun in Lakota. Yeah, so it is on my website. It is 100% chemical free. So I use organic raspberry leaf and raspberry seed and carrot seed. Those are known to have a natural SPF of about 30 anyway. But what I do is I also add an organic zinc oxide to it, and a little bit of I infused, I should say, all of that into the jojoba oils, and the raspberry seed oil, the carrot seed oils, and the combination is wonderful. The great thing about it is that you can use it on babies. It's safe for babies.
Well,
Yes.
I'm babying my skin because I'm going to share with you right now. I've been dealing with skin cancer for 25 years, if not more. Little piece pops up here, there, everywhere. I've got scars here, here, here. I don't really care about that. Face more important.
Right.
Literally, let's see, 6 months ago, had piece here, piece here, piece here taken out, just because I didn't take care of it. But now, sunscreen is on my radar. I've got, 28 stitches here, 28 here.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you definitely want to avoid sunscreen. That is like the worst.
Oh, wait a minute. Forgot to mention, a year and a couple of months ago, had radiation in this entire area for skin cancer. So, and it's basal cell, so it's a lower level stuff, but that's why I use it. I lather myself up, and I don't like using the other products because then I learned that you put chemicals on your body, they're going into your body, and you don't even know what you're using. There's like this like garbage. It's insane what's out there.
My theory is if you can't pronounce it, don't put it on your body or don't put it in your body. As a joke, my late husband used to say that. He's like, if I can't pronounce it, I'm not eating it. I ain't putting it on my body.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's all literally chemicals, and it's not any better than, well, in terms of what it does, blocking the sun. It's the same stuff you have. Does the same.
Yeah. Well, and let me do a little bit of education on sunscreen. So, they talk about, that the SPF factors, that, they say, oh, sun block. Well, really, it's not blocking the sun. Okay. There's certain factors that's still going to let it's blocking those certain UV rays. You've got UVB rays, you've got UV C rays. So that's what it does, is it blocks those certain rays, which keeps that level of skin cancers down, is what it does. So realistically, an SPF of a 50, they're blowing smoke.
It's
It's
pointless.
really, yeah, it's not. 30 is really about all you can really get out of anything, and mine tests about to that. I've done a lot of R&D on it. It took me 2 years of research and development before I even put it into the line. And actually a lady who had skin cancer is who came to me and begged me to try and come up with a formula. And that she was my inspiration. She had it so bad where she couldn't even go in the sun without long sleeves, turtlenecks, and hats. She had it horrible. It was really bad. And the only thing that they could trigger it or target the actual skin cancer to, sunscreen. She specifically got it from overuse of sunscreen. She had it's a disease that makes your pigmentation in your skin not show up. So, and I can't, apologies, but I can't remember the specific name of the disease, but she had little like white spots. A lot of people that have lupus, that happens to them, and they get like these white blotches where the pigmentation is just, there's nothing there. It's just like pure white. And then you have these big patches. Well, that's what she had. So she would bathe in sunscreen so she could go out because she loved to garden. Well, it ended up giving her skin cancer. I mean, not that her skin was also very sensitive because of this disease, but she didn't know. She was like, I want to go out. I want to garden. I want to be outside. Well, now not only can she go out and garden, but she's safe and she's not going to have any more issues with the skin cancer because of the sunscreen.
Why didn't the sunscreen protect her?
That's a good question. I think a lot of times there's a big hype out there about how, like I said, oh, it's a 50, it's a block, it's all of this. So you think, oh my goodness, I'm safe. I can be out for that amount of time. And realistically, no, it doesn't. It just gives you a little bit more of a, maybe a couple more hours versus just a few hours with a 30.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's a sense of security, and we're not even factoring in perspiration and the water.
Yeah. Yeah, and mine unfortunately is not waterproof. You can't really get, I've tried, I cannot get a waterproof sunscreen that is not going to be chemical free, that's going to stick. But realistically, mine lasts about 3 or 4 hours. You got to reapply most sunscreens for that anyway, even if unless you're, you're just sitting there and not sweating.
Why would you take a chance anyway? Just put some more on.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. And once again, like I said, it's safe for babies. I use this on my granddaughter all the time, and I mean, you definitely don't, I'm not telling people, oh, we'll put this out and take your baby out without a hat on or some type of coverage. I mean, you still have to be smart about this, just like you would any other sunscreen.
I just can't even get over the chemicals that are in stuff. And I started hearing about it about a year ago. I have to believe that you're very particular in terms of the formulation, because it's one thing if it's, aromatherapy spray. It's another thing when it's sunscreen. So in
Yes.
terms of what you put in there, that is blocking the sun. You got to be very careful, and I know you are.
Oh yeah, I'm super picky. And like I said, with everything I make, I test myself. I put it out there. I give samples to people and I want them to try it. Let me know how this works. Okay. Do we need to pump it up here? Do we need to back off here? And it did. It took me 2 years of that research and development to
Right.
really find a good balance. And this was a balance that I liked. And that's what I find. I find something that is not going to be, where all of a sudden there's too much zinc oxide, where you see the white on the old. Well, that's basically the same thing. This is a non-nano, so it's not going to absorb into the bloodstream, and it doesn't turn you white. It will rub in very nicely, and you're not having that white, but you get that good protection. And I bet, just out of curiosity, what did you pay for that little bottle of sunscreen?
Now it was a travel size. Technically
Right.
not a travel size. It was a smaller container because I had a carry-on under 3.4 ounces.
Mhm.
Uh,
Right.
I want to say for that probably, and I think going by memory here, maybe $5.99 or something like that for that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and that was a very generic version, probably, your bottom of your line, which, so I mean, anything organic, anything quality, usually you really, really pay a lot for. Mine, like I said, is a 4 ounce. It's a 4 ounce bottle. Unfortunately, you can't fly with it because they changed, love the airlines. I did everything in 4 ounce bottles, and now they've dropped it down to 3.5. I'm like, thank you so much. They don't make a 3.5 ounce bottle out there you can get. But this is $18. And that's the thing. I want all of these good quality products to be able to be available to people at affordable prices. Something you can actually utilize, instead of paying, most places you get something chemical free like that, you're paying $25 a bottle for
Without
it.
a doubt. Without,
Yeah, for something that's organic, something that's chemical free. I don't understand why society does it that way, because realistically, the way we source stuff and everything is much easier. It's really not as expensive to do this.
makes no sense.
And yeah, they do 600% markups. It's like, why?
And by
Because
the way, I'm
it's
going by memory, Tammie, on that. It could have been, $8.99. I'm trying to remember what it
right,
was. Uh,
right.
and one of the reasons I bought it was because it was in a smaller container. But I
Right.
certainly could have taken yours and put it in another one, whatever it might be, not to use the chemicals. And every time I was away, I was like, all right, I'm going to put it on now. It's like, I don't even know what it is. It could be, again, it was a no-name brand, and that's why it was cheaper. You get,
Exactly.
name brand, add,
Yeah,
add.
more of a generic brand, which is going to be utilizing, and that's the thing about a lot of the generic brands, there's a lot of fillers in them. There's non-tested chemicals. Even the chemicals are bad, but you've even got chemicals that's in those non-brands that are even worse for you because it's not as regulated.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and think about it. I mean, if all the chemicals in sunscreen is actually regulated by the FDA. It is.
And
So
they
yeah,
get it. I don't, why?
yeah.
What
Because it's dangerous. It's something they need to keep an eye on, because all of these chemicals, they need to test it and see if it fits their protocols. Well, their protocols, of course, still they're, oh, well, this is possibly safe. Well, possibly is the word. It fits their standards, but we all know their standards still doesn't really have the health and or the their or how do I want to put this? It doesn't have our health in mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's all about, it's money. That's what it comes down to.
always, always. And that's the thing about me. It's not about the money for me. And my business grows every day because of it. And
Yeah.
that's it. I'm not about the money. I want to get these old traditional medicines and good quality products into everybody's hands, because they need to have choices. They need to know, I mean, we are so controlled by all of the governmental stuff and everything. I mean, trust me, as a Native American woman, I've lived it all my life, and they're doing it with everybody. We need to stop being the sheep. We need to start standing up and making a change for our children and our children's children and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's
So,
time.
and it's funny, before we go in a different direction of something, another product that you sell, I think back to, my kids and our kids and
Yeah,
lathering this stuff on, and maybe the health issues that they may have now could be potentially traced back to these chemicals on their body. When else do you put chemicals on your kid's body? Yeah,
right.
you don't. It's sunscreen. You use soap. It's relatively basic, we like to believe, but sunscreen is a whole bunch of junk in there I can't even pronounce,
Yeah.
like you said.
And
So
we're doing it to protect our children, and in the
that's the
long
funny
run,
part.
how much are we damaging them?
That's
Exactly.
that's a
Yeah,
great.
absolutely. Yep, I get it. And I know, I think back about some of the things that my oldest, I mean, I used mostly, chemical free stuff. I mean, I've always pretty much been down that road, but it took time for me to really realize and really getting deep into it and really educating myself. But yeah, absolutely. I
So
agree.
let's change products now. And I just realized that you sell a line of tea on
I
your.
do.
And it's so
Yes.
funny. My daughter is 15 and just recently got, I don't know why, interested in tea. So we've been going and buying different types, and like she'll pick a peppermint tea and say, yeah, it really doesn't have a lot of flavor. That one's a little bit more relatively inexpensive, so we can experiment with them. But she's into it now, and now I'm into it. So what do you got?
Oh my gosh. So I have partnered up with a company, Jackson has Nuwadi Herbals. I bow down to this man's teas. I can make tea, but you know what? When you've got somebody who just is amazing at what they do, and he helps promote me all the time. So he makes 19 different medicinal teas. These are all organic loose leaf teas, and they all kind of target a specific maybe ailment. So the one of my favorites, and it's just I like it because I drink it hot or cold. It's called Laughing Coyote. He's Cherokee, so all of his teas are really neat little names. And this one is just for a happier you. It has hibiscus, green tea, lemongrass, rehobos, rose hips, ashwagandha, which is that adaptogen herb we've talked about. It's got chamomile and lavender. It's got so many things. I love this tea, and I can drink it either hot or cold. It doesn't matter. I will make it. I'll make a big batch of it, and I just take it and I just drink it all day long. He's got stuff for sleep called cloud walking. He has stuff for he's got natural laxative called Bear in the Woods.
Ah,
Right? Yeah. He's got another one going the other direction. So if your stomach is bothering you, it's called Calming the Storm. He's got one called TPT to help with men's prostate issues.
well,
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, there's probably the best one for men is it's called the Warrior Tea. He actually won an award at the Grammys for this one, for being the best new tea several years ago. And it's perfect because it's really high in antioxidants. It's your perfect antioxidant shield. So, and I could go on and on with the different names, but you can go to my website and go under Nuwadi Herbals, and he has all these teas that are medicinal. He also has 8 flavored teas, which they're still organic. It's still loose leaf. It's all herbal, but they're kind of more flavored than just targeting a specific area that you want. But they got one for women for menstrual issues called Time of the Moon. So at Time of the Moon, yeah, well, in native way, we call it our moon time instead of your menses. So I love his names. I love what he does, and I love his teas. They're just phenomenal. Yeah,
how do
I
you
couldn't ask for a better
you say
tea.
they're I'm used to the tea bag, right? Um,
Yeah.
they're loose teas. How do you prepare them?
You would get a one of those little tea diffusers. You can pick them up at Walmart or whatever. I call them tea balls. They're little metal tea balls, or a lot of times you can get biodegradable tea bags, and you just put it in the tea bag. It's about a teaspoonful, and you just let it steep for 5 minutes and enjoy.
You know what I love about that, and I never thought of it until now. Maybe you want a stronger tea, so you could add a little bit more.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I do like stronger tea. Yeah. I make mine a little stronger. I use the biodegradable bags is what I use in mine. And I got like the real big ones, and I make a big pitcher of it. And I just pour it in, keep it in the fridge, and I just fill my big jug. And instead of going around with my bottle of water all the time, I got my bottle of Laughing Coyote tea. Or Strawberry Moon is another one of my favorites. That's one of the bag teas. He's got peach vanilla, blueberry cinnamon. He's got one that even tastes like root beer. It's called root berry tea.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
And they all come in the same size bottle that you have there?
Actually, there's the bag teas. This is the Christmas tea here. So the bags are a little bigger. So
Oh,
these are the flavored teas. Yeah. Yeah. So you've got the smaller bottles, and then you've got these. So
and why are teas so impactful? I mean, coming from you as a Native American, I mean, teas have been they've been brewing many cultures have been brewing teas for centuries.
thousands of years. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're taking that herb and you're taking in such a fresh form, and when you blend it, it really pulls, you're pulling that, you put it in the hot tea, you're pulling those medicinal properties out of there right there. So you're getting it as fresh as possible. Yeah.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
How about got to go on the website? By the way, we're in here. What's your website?
It's oyateherbals.com. Real easy. OYATEHERBALS.com. And if you can't find me there, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. You can always reach out and talk to me.
We should share with everybody you are a herbalist.
Yes, master herbalist.
Master herbalist, thank you very much.
Master herbalist and a phytotherapist. So I've actually studied the phytotherapy, which is the fancy term of recommending plant medicines.
When I hear phyto, I think dog. Has nothing to do with
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here, a couple of minutes left. Anything else on the website that we should be aware of? Now, we've talked about aromatherapy sprays. We have tincture for, I've got it right here, and I will be hitting this up in a little while, which is the stress and anxiety.
Yes, the tinctures. Yes. And that's probably your closest thing that you can get next to a tea that's going to be fresh and very it's strong and powerful, you know, when it comes to dosage and things like that. One thing I did want to mention is, you know, we talked about the sunscreen, but you know, if you do get sunburn, I have an amazing salve that is going to help with that sunburn and get it on fast. It reduces the blistering. It has comfrey, mullein, and calendula. It also has aloe vera, vitamin E, and tea tree oil. So we're going to help speed up that healing process. We're going to condition that skin. We're going to keep it from getting blisters. We're going to keep it from, and it's going to heal it really fast as well. And also any antimicrobial. The tea tree oil, just in case, because sometimes, this isn't just good for sunburns. This is good for cuts. It's good for scrapes, rashes, you know, things like that. I don't recommend it for deep cuts until like if you got stitches, but I've seen this push stitches out faster and then people have had to go to have them taken out. It's crazy. Yeah.
How do you think that actually works?
Because it has comfrey in it. Comfrey stimulates new cell growth. So it speeds up that healing process ×2. That's also in my pain salve. I got a pain salve that is phenomenal. It's my bestseller. But this, I have pictures of people go on my website or go on Facebook. You can see where I have people that have sent me different pictures of healing sunburns. I had a guy cut his leg open with a grinder, got 8 stitches. They were supposed to be taken out in 9 to 12 days. They came out in 6.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
This is all natural. This is stuff that you can feel safe in using.
Yeah. And I make this myself. And so they know it can be trusted. I do it. And when I do it in my traditional native way with love and blessings. And so that energy is in there. I don't know how, you know, if a lot of people believe in that, but energetically, you know, we bring that vibration of that plant medicine that's already great up to a different level.
Unbelievable. And again, this is coming from a master herbalist. This is not just somebody hawking some products on a website.
No, I've been doing this since I was a little girl. My mom was an herbalist. My dad was Lakota from Pine Ridge. My aunties taught me all of those secrets. And I've, you know, put it all into my products.
Incredible. I am going to be hitting up the organic stress and anxiety relief, which has kava kava, ashwagandha in this one.
Correct. Yes. Yes.
I'm learning from the best over here. With this tincture, real briefly, and by the way, I've used this and it totally chills you and just I'm trying to describe it, gives you clarity and you just all right, I feel better now. I don't feel so day's not so crazy anymore.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, with the ashwagandha, you've got that adaptogen herbs that helps you adapt to what's going on in your environment and everything. So it reknits those synapses of the brain. And the kava, it's kind of, like I said, I joke about it being the herbal equivalent to like a Xanax. Yeah, because it just brings you down. And I've seen it bring people out of severe anxiety and panic attacks.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Double dose, boom. And they just go, whoo. Yeah.
And one dose is 1 dropper full.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're having a panic attack, you can do 2 to 3 droppers under the tongue because it's going to bring you right down. Yeah. And which is okay. Not on a regular basis, but if you are in a major panic attack, absolutely.
And can you do this if you just eaten, if you drank something? Like, what's your suggestion?
It's always nice to get a clean mouth, for the sublingual properties. But if you need it, do what you need to do. It's just not going to absorb as fast. But for that little bit of amount, if you just ate something and all of a sudden you have a panic attack and you need to use it, it's still going to work just fine.
For those that don't know, sublingual is the way to go. It right into your bloodstream. Yeah, I think we minimize it under the tongue. What's that going to do? It doesn't have to get into your liver and process, and you're getting it pure into your system as opposed to not getting the full dose technically because it is going through your liver and other digestion.
Correct. Yeah. It doesn't go through that. It goes directly in, and you're getting an 80 to a 90% absorbency from teas and tinctures versus like if you take a capsule, it's still a great herb and everything, but you're only absorbing 40 to 60% of it. So, and I don't even carry capsules because to me, it's kind of a waste of everybody's money, for what I have to do and go through. And I don't want to do that. I want you to get the quality stuff.
And it goes right into your system as opposed to waiting 40 minutes, hour and a half, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Your website, Oyate Herbals, right? Oyate Herbals.com.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Love all the information. I'm like the smartest guy in the room lately. And we start talking about, because a lot of people are now realizing, hey, you know what? You should be taking care of your body and using natural products, and they're all right there. And I got to go on your website and get some tea and sunscreen. That's my.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Check out the website because it's not just that. There is, a ton of. I don't just have just regular, the sunscreen, but I have a full line of just regular lotions. I have soaps. I have body scrubs. I have. Everything, a full bath and body line. I also carry a full line of CBDs for you, your pet. I've got gummies. You name it, I've got it.
Incredible. Tammie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. It's always a pleasure.
Same thing.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.